Welcome to Leading Behind the Scene. I'm your host, Gwendolyn Young, the go-to business and operations consultant for six-figure CEOs who are ready to reach their next level of growth. And I'm ready to share tools, strategies, and tips to help you excel in your business and your life. If you're a service-based entrepreneur, be sure to join me each Thursday. Find me on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And don't forget to follow the show on your favorite podcast player so you never miss an episode. And if you love the content, leave me a rating review. Now let's get into today's episode. Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of Leading Behind the Scene. This month, we are continuing the conversation on administrative housekeeping and preparing for the upcoming new year. It is no surprise that with each passing year, the digital landscape continues to evolve, presenting new opportunities and challenges for us as online business owners. As you gear up for a fresh start in the new year, it's essential to prioritize data security. Cyber threats are constantly evolving, and the protection of sensitive customer and client data has never been more critical. In this episode, we're going to talk about some of the key data security measures that online businesses should review and or implement as the new year emerges. So number one, regularly update and patch software. Outdated software is a common entry point for cyber criminals. Ensure that all your business applications, including your operating systems, are regularly updated and patched. This will help protect your systems from known vulnerabilities and exploits that can be used to gain unauthorized access to your data. So for all of those folks, I know these are not my people, so I know it's not you. It's all the other people who ignore those downloads that it is time to update your computer. I am going to need you to click the button and make sure that they get done, okay? And on a regular schedule. And if you have the option, just put them on auto update so that you can be protected at all times. Number two, implement strong access controls. So you want to manage user access to your systems and data meticulously. Only grant access to your team who require it for their specific job responsibilities. So you want to implement strong password policies, the multi-factor authentication, and restrict administrative access to only those individuals that actually need it. And you want to regularly review and update your user access permissions as roles change within your organization. You also want to educate your team. Invest in cybersecurity training and awareness programs for them. Human error is a significant factor in data breaches. Teach your team to recognize phishing attempts, social engineering tactics, and other common cyber threats. Regular training can help them become your first line of defense. And for those of you that have remote teams, such as myself, running an agency, one of our requirements for the team is that they have to implement these security measures on their side as well, right? So they're responsible as part of their contract to have the software on their computers that they need, that they're following very strict access rules. We use a password management system to give access and control it, all of those things. So you want to definitely take a look at that and educate your team. You want to secure customer data. If your business collects customer data in any form, whether it's payment information or personal details, it is paramount that you prioritize its protection. Ensure you're compliant with relevant data protection regulations. You heard me mention it before, the GDPR, which is the General Data Protection Regulation, the California Consumer Privacy Act, all these things. You want to encrypt sensitive customer data, both at rest and doing transmission. And yes, I know you probably don't know what I'm talking about when I say that, but if you're using like Stripes or Square, things like that, it's going to be built into those platforms. But you want to think about how you are collecting information in the lead generation process. your client onboarding process, and just the day-to-day workings with your client and customer data, because you are responsible for protecting it. So you want to make sure you're using very secure systems and that you have internal controls to manage and monitor that data. You also want to back up your data. So regular backups are critical to secure data. I recommend that you do this in an offsite location, because in the event of a cyber attack on your computer, such as like a ransomware or malware or something, having up-to-date backups can save your business from data loss. So you want to ensure these backups are tested regularly to ensure their reliability. I have seen clients lose entire websites because they did not have the data backup anywhere. And when they got hacked, they could not regain control. So super important to have your backups. I personally like to use Carbonite. It's been amazing for me. It's across all of my PCs and computer, and it automates my backups automatically. So could be an option for you, but look and see what works for you. Then you want to monitor network activity. Want to implement robust network monitoring tools that can detect and alert you to suspicious activities. Real-time monitoring can help you identify potential threats and respond swiftly to mitigate any damages. These are things like your Google Workspace settings, so you get notifications when suspicious logins happen, checking your browser history and clearing it on a regular basis, and how you transfer files to other people, making sure that that is secure. So you want to monitor all of those network activities and make sure you have proper systems and security in place. You also want to develop an incident response plan. No matter how well you prepare, there is always a possibility of a security incident. So you want to have a well-defined incident response plan in place to handle breaches efficiently. Test and update this plan regularly to ensure it remains effective. And this doesn't have to be a super complex plan, right? This can be something as simple as a clearly documented process and checklist of what needs to happen if an incident does occur. So don't overthink it. You also want to make sure, again, your contractors and vendor security. So assess the security practices of your independent contractors, your vendors, and your team, right? Cyber criminals often target these smaller, less secure entities to gain access to information. So ensure that your contractors and partners meet your security standards and provide for contingencies if their systems are compromised. This is super important because we don't realize that oftentimes when we partner with other small business owners to like send gifts to our clients, or when our remote workers are working on client files and need to download files, that they are now hosting those files on their private systems and networks, right? Your client data on their private systems and networks. So we have to do these check-ins with them on their security practices. You also want to have regular security audits. So you want to conduct these security audits on a regular basis and test the vulnerability of your systems. These assessments can identify potential weaknesses before the cyber criminals do, allowing you an opportunity to actually fix the issues beforehand. And then finally, compliance and reporting. Stay informed about changing data protection regulations and ensure your business remains compliant. Be prepared to report data breaches promptly to the appropriate authorities and affected parties, because it is required by law. So as you prepare administratively for the new year, remember to take the necessary precautions to safeguard your company and customer data. Cyber threats continue to evolve, and data breaches can have severe consequences for your business, including financial losses and damage to your reputation. By implementing essential data security measures, you can mitigate risk and ensure a safer and more successful year for your online business. Prioritizing data security isn't just a wise decision, it's a critical one in the online space today. Remember that data security is an ongoing journey, not just a one-time event. So hop to it. Thank you so much for joining us today on Leading Behind the Scene. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes. Share it with someone today and leave us a rate and review. Until next time, stay secure. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Leading Behind the Scene. I hope you found some encouragement or helpful information today to help move your business and or your life forward. If you have a specific topic you'd like me to talk about or guests you'd like me to have on the show, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. I love connecting with my listeners. Also, be sure to follow the podcast so you never miss an episode and leave me a rating review. I'll see you next week.